Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com, MikeKollin.com, and today we're going to talk about the difference between the Tree of Knowledge, which is where narcissists want to lock you in, and versus the Tree of Life, which is where God's at. It's the open way. So let me check something real quick here. All right, so let's get this started. Let there be fire. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. All right. Hey, I know I'm reading the Bible a lot, but I'm really not trying to be a Christian here. But I am being biblical. These teachings are also in Buddhism now, which is kind of cool. It's everywhere. So let's just leave that there. So what I want to talk about is, so in the book of Genesis, here is what happened. The serpent, narcissist, they shamed or hurt Adam and Eve emotionally, which is what narcissists do. They hurt you in your solar plexus area, your heart area, which is where you feel your emotions and feelings. And they sting it until you go into your logical brain. Because when you go into your logical brain, you disconnect from your five senses. The right brain is the emotional processor. See, hear, feel, smell, and taste. It's the five senses brain. So it's feeling your body and all, and smelling and tasting and seeing and feeling and hearing and all that stuff, right? So that's why narcissists want to hurt you emotionally. So you go to the left brain and lock the door. That's when Adam and Eve hid from God in the book of Genesis chapter 3. Okay, read that chapter. I think it's verse 7, verse 8, but read the whole thing. And read chapter 2, the two verses just before that. It talks about how they were naked, and it said they were not ashamed. But then as you go into chapter 3, the serpent, narcissist, told them, made a rule, you're naked. And they're like, what's that? It means you don't have clothes on. What does that mean? Well, you got to cover yourself up. Why? Because that's shameful. And this is exactly what narcissists do to people, okay? So they do that to get you stuck in the Tree of Knowledge, because the Tree of Knowledge is the limited box. You can only see what's inside there, not something that's even a millimeter out. So they convince you that this is life, and I'm going to tell you the rules, because this left brain processes through rules, structure, and organization. It's also the external follower brain. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. This is the male brain. The right brain is the internal brain, which connects to God. So that's what this is all about. Now, I've made a video just recently, one or two videos before, where you open the artery in the lower reptilian brain and how that opens you up to the right brain, the spiritual brain, okay? So I'm going to jump right to the book of Revelations, and I'm going to show you something. All right, here we go. So the book of Revelations, the final book. Oops, not that chapter. It's the final chapter, chapter 22. So let's read this a little bit here. So let's skip to verse 4. So chapter 22, let's start at 3. So, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. Verse 4, again, the last chapter, chapter 22, book of Revelations. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. Okay? And there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. This is what's going on to people who are enlightened right now. Okay, so what does it mean when it says his name shall be in their forehead? Look at Jesus' eyes right now. Notice how the pupils are dilated and has a very soft, open view. Well, this is something that I've been specializing in for 30 years in my course, teaching men how to open up like this. Now, what this does is it literally expands your awareness and expands your consciousness. So your vision, auditory, kinesthetic, etc. expand all the way out. It's literally like you have an open doorway in your brain. Now, the opposite of that would be, I'm drawing a blank on it. It's when you are in your reptilian brain and coming from the evil side of you, the fight or flight instinctual side, your pupils get really, really small. And this is where narcissists exist. This is why narcissists literally have and use predatorial tactics. They will literally sit outside your home. They'll follow you to work. They will stalk you on social media for months and months. They will study you like they're studying prey before they actually come and meet you, okay? So that's the difference. So when somebody is in their left brain or far all the way into the reptilian brain, the pupils get really small and they come together like they're aiming at a target. Now remember, when you're in that narrow view, you cannot put the pieces of the puzzle together to see how the pieces fit together. So this is why and how narcissists can lie to you and then lie to you again and again, and you won't see it because everything is divided. Every piece is separated. That's why narcissists are the masters of divide and conquer. They don't want people to talk to each other so they can start sharing their pieces of the puzzle. Because if you two connect, you start connecting the pieces of the puzzle, and all of a sudden you see what's really going on. And this is why narcissists absolutely must keep you in a state of fear, panic, and confusion, because that will cause you to go further and further into your left brain, seeing a smaller and smaller piece of the puzzle, meaning you can't fit the pieces together, so you can't see what's really going on. And yes, this is being done on a governmental level for sure. Right now, we can already see. And I made a video about how the veil's about to be lifted for more people because they're in darkness. There's darkness basically in here, and they can't really see what's going on, okay? Now watch this. The Tree of Knowledge keeps you in dark, all right? Now, the other one is called the Tree of Life. Now, let me shift over there. So that the same chapter, 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that may have right, that may have right. What? Right? The right brain? That may have right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. Now watch this. The right brain is about the five senses. When I say right brain, you're not actually in your right brain. Your energy, your spirit energy, we'll call it, is inside your body, your whole body, all the way down into your feet. Now you're seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, and tasting. You're in the present moment. Now you are in life. The left brain is called the dissociated brain for a reason, because you are dissociated from your five senses. You're disconnected. When you're in your right brain, really what is you're in your body, but it's processing the information here. Now you're seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, and tasting. And that's called the tree of life. Does it make sense? Narcissists, the serpent, want you in the tree of knowledge so they can put you in a box, in a cage, and so they can imprison you and control you, and they just make up rules. They change rules to drop a hat. They make up a new one, and it's really tricky because the way this brain works and processes is by what are the rules. And it's the external brain looking for someone to tell them what the rules are. Well, lo and behold, there's the narcissist. Do you get it? Your freedom is by opening up to the right brain. I've been specializing in doing this with men, and I do it with women too, on how to open up to your right brain. Men especially, because men are very locked in their left brain. This is something I've been specializing in for 30 years now, okay? So let's see. Okay, here's one more point. So again, verse 14, the bottom half says, to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. Now, if you go earlier in the Bible, it talks about how it would be harder for a rich man to enter the city through the eye of the needle. Now, physically, the eye of the needle in the Bible was this narrow opening way in the wall, which a fully packed camel wouldn't be easy for a camel to get through because it's so narrow. And camels are big, and if they got packs on them, it's even harder. But look what it says here. It says, may enter in through the gates in the city, meaning these wide open gates. If you've been following this video series, you've noticed what I said about the pupils being narrow and like this versus the pupils dilating like Jesus' eyes, and they're pulled apart so they're wide open. This is what it's talking about. Enter through the gates into the city. Talking about the artery in the reptilian, controlled by the reptilian brain. When it's wide open, your pupils dilate, they get larger, and they pull apart, and now you see the bigger picture, and it opens you up to a larger part of your brain, the more intelligent part, the brain that's open to God, the right brain. And this is what it means when it says, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. You will be able to see it because their pupils will be dilated, they'll be pulled apart a little bit, and their muscle tonus in their face and forehead will be a lot softer, like they're much more open. Whereas when you're in your reptilian brain, everything's tight and linear and logical, and your muscles tighten and your pupils get really small. You can literally see it in their face. So this is how it should be. Narcissists are completely closed into their box, their left brain. It's in the box brain. Have you ever heard the phrase, what did they say? Oh God, open your mind, but there's another one. Think outside of the box. Well, this is the box, the left logical brain. Think outside of the box literally means to open up and enter the right brain, because that is the open brain, right? Unfortunately, when most people say, you got to think outside of the box, what they mean is, don't think in your box, jump over and think the way I think in my box. That's not thinking outside of the box. That's just jumping into another damn box. So it should be open to the right brain, which is open to spirit. So it should have this open. And now you should receive information. And that's how I received all this information, how I wrote my book, Crack the Female Code, my course, Crack the Female Code, the book and the course for women, Why Men Just Don't Get It. The difference is what I'm doing is most males, we go outside. We're external. It's like we try to gather information through this straw. Little tiny bits of information get through. But when I learned how to open up, and now instead of going external, I've learned to open up and receive information. Massive amounts of information, okay? This is what I've been teaching my clients for a long, long time right now. All I want to say is if you want to open up to God, to spirit, you have to learn how to be open. Now I'm going to give you a little hint. Imagine imagine you open wide open. So literally allow your eyes, technically you could say go in peripheral vision, okay? But that's very limited. That's like 1%. So imagine there's like a funnel that goes down through you and even goes down into the ground, and you're open to receive. So when you talk to someone, you're wide open. You're not focused on them like this, like with blinders on, like you're looking down a tube. You want to open up. And women naturally do this majority of the time. Men almost never do this. So you receive all of their communication, their body language, their tone, their tempo. The other thing you do, as you have this wide open funnel, this wide open V, allow your awareness to drop down inside and then expand out. I know that sounds tricky. This is something that I condition into the men during the Crack the Female Code course. I can also do it on one-on-one coaching. You don't have to take that course. And obviously for women, I can, if you need help getting stuck out of your thinking brain, it's that brain that thinks and thinks and thinks and never shuts off. That's the whole purpose of doing this. When you have silence in here, now you can receive what's being communicated to you. This is what a lot of people now on YouTube videos are saying. They're calling it fifth dimension. I'm in the fifth dimension. Well, whether it's that or whether you want to call it receiving information from the spirit world, I don't really care. But that's how you do it. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I hope you like this video series. Click subscribe, click that bell, and click like, and go ahead and make a comment. Let me know what you liked, okay? See you guys. Bye.